everyone, it's Emily, and I'm really excited about today's video because not only will I be unboxing the new retail versions for Coffee Talk episode 1 and 2, but I'll also be hosting my first ever international giveaway. I'll be discussing all the details on how you could enter a little further in the video. But first, I just wanted to talk about Coffee Talk. So I have the standard retail version for the first game, as well as the standard version for the second game. And I think Serenity Forge did a great job here. And I do also want to thank them again for providing these copies to me to unbox and experience and share with you guys. But for the giveaway and also this unboxing, I'll be sharing what's inside the premium collector's edition for episode 2. So for those who are not familiar, Coffee Talk is a visual novel that takes place in an alternative Seattle where you own a coffee shop and you serve coffee and other drinks to various patrons that come into your shop. One of the cool things about Coffee Talk is that it also has a bit of an urban fantasy with a sci-fi twist to it, in that all the people who frequent your coffee shop are different types of beings. So you have some vampires, orcs, and mermaids, and you name it, who come in and request various types of drinks that you make up for them. While most of the gameplay involves you preparing drinks for your patrons' preferences and requests, a lot of the game involves you just kind of spectating what conversations are happening in your coffee shop and sort of what problems everyone brings to the table and how everyone as a community kind of chips in and tries to help solve these problems. So this game is very narrative focused, and so far I've completed the first game and I really adored kind of all the characters and all their little quirks and just the cozy atmosphere of just being in the coffee shop and listening to the various conversations. I found very enjoyable, and I'm really looking forward to getting to episode 2 soon and seeing how the story continues. So Coffee Talk was first released digitally on various platforms, and it actually did receive a physical release in Europe, I believe by Strictly Limited Games in a limited capacity because they're one of the limited distribution companies. So I'm really happy we now have accessible retail versions of these two great games for more people to experience and own physical copies of. Now, if we take a look at the box for the first game here, I think Serenity Forge chose the cover art very well, and the back descriptions I think are very appropriate. Gives you an idea of what to expect from this game. I will say that I really do adore the game's overall pixel art, and it is kind of a little strange to see the front cover not in the same art style, but I could see why they went with a more traditional anime style when putting this together. And we have a nice cityscape of Seattle on the inside cover art here. And one of the things I really like about Serenity Forge's standard releases is they always add some extra goodies inside. So we have this neat keychain featuring one of the prominent patrons to your coffee shop here. And they also include a download code for the soundtrack. And I will say that the lo-fi music in Coffee Talk is really relaxing. And there are also some really cute stickers of all the various patrons who visit your coffee shop. Now moving on to the second game's standard retail release. I think it's very consistent in what we saw with the first game, with a similar art style on the front cover, as well as I think a good description on the back side about what the game's about. And the inside cover art has another pretty cityscape, more with a purpley tone. And just like with the first game, they have very similar goodies. So for this wood keychain, they feature another patron who is, I think, the prominent one in the second episode 2 game, as well as another soundtrack download and some really cute stickers. So these are clearly the Switch releases, and there's also a PS4 and PS5 retail standard edition for those who prefer this on the PlayStation. I personally prefer my visual novels on the Switch. I just think it's a little bit easier to play, especially with a lot of text and reading. And one of the things I really like about Serenity Forge is their attention to detail when it comes to putting the full game on the Switch cart. When I plug these into my Switch console, there were no queues for updates or necessary downloads in order to play these games, which is always a plus in my book. And during my playthrough of the first game, I didn't notice any sort of issues at all, so I don't really anticipate any patches coming out for that game. But if there are in the future, Serenity Forge is also really good at providing revised Switch carts whenever they do reprints. I talked about revised Switch carts on my channel quite a bit, but for those who may be unfamiliar, they make sure that the reprints include all of the updated patches onto the cart, so there will be no downloads required. And the way to identify this, if you receive a revised Switch cart, is when you look at the backside of the game and see what number appears. So all of the initial releases end with a 1, and you'll have subsequent different numbers for revised switch cards. To my knowledge, Serenity Forge has only done this with Doki Doki Literature Club and provided a revised switch cart. So I always feel like that's something to point out when it comes to various game publishers. All right, so now on to unboxing the Premium Collector's Edition for episode 2. Serenity Forge also did a one-shot where they had a collector's edition for both 1 and 2 combined, but I think that sold out really early in the pre-order period. So right now on their website, you can only pick up the standard releases for the first game and episode 2, as well as this Premium Collector's Edition. So down below, I'll have some affiliate links listed if you're interested in picking a copy up for yourself. And Serenity Forge games are not just exclusive to their website, so you could also pick these up at other retailers such as Amazon, GameStop, and Target, I believe. So first, looking at the box here, I would say this is nice and compact, especially compared to the last Premium Edition, Collector's Edition, I unboxed on this channel for Sword and Fairy Together Forever. That was a humongous box, so I do appreciate how this one's more compact as a collector. And I do like how they went with the more anime style for the character art, but left the pixel text on here, which is what was used throughout the game itself to sort of indicate that this is a special indie title that does incorporate pixel art into their game. All right, so let's open her up. So the first thing that comes inside this is a nicely sized tote bag. So it is actually quite large. You could fit quite a few books in here or whatever else you need to carry. And there are 2 different prints on either side. So you have, I believe this is the front that has the name of the game, and the back of 3 of the prominent patrons. You also have someone in a spacesuit. If you played the first game, you'll know who this is. And the next item is a tea towel. So this is another functional item if you want to use it in your kitchen or whatnot. And I really do like the print that they went with. So you have 2 of the recognizable characters here, as well as some recognizable cat characters. And you also have a lot of ingredients that you incorporate into the barista simulation part of the gameplay, as well as previews of what some of the various drinks you could make on here as well. So I think the details on this is really nice and definitely a very useful practical item, which I always appreciate in these sort of collector's editions. And then next, we have the first ever comic collection. This will have various mini comics compiled together in this little booklet that is stapled together. So while I do usually prefer hardbook covers, I understand why they went with this sort of format, because it is more like a comic book. Page quality is actually really good. And it's not using the pixel art like you see in the game. It is more of the anime sort of art style, which I think is probably more suitable for these sort of things. Sometimes when you see pixel art outside of a screen, it can look a little odd. So I understand why they went with this. And I don't know if these were released previously, because it looks like they have a bonus Coffee Talk 2 comic included as well. But this should be really nice to kind of look through after I think you complete the game. Then next we have this nice notepad, and I really do like the more chibi art they went with these. And everyone looks just so cute, and another very practical item if you like to use the items in your collector's editions. And then the last thing as far as items go is you have this bag that's holding all the acrylic standees that kind of build up this diorama. So I'll have a little overview of what this looks like built up. So keep in mind, I'm not actually peeling off the plastic, so the person who wins this specific collector's edition will have the pleasure of doing that and having a nice acrylic stand. But again, they went with a very similar art to what we saw on the front cover as well as in the comic book. And it's cute seeing the different pairings of the patrons together who usually frequent the coffee shop together. Then last but not least, we have the standard copy of the game. So I will not be opening this. That way, the person who wins this copy will get to open and unseal the second game here. But it should have the same exact contents as my copy that I shared an unboxing for earlier. I think overall, all the items are really nice in this premium collector's edition, and I really do enjoy getting functional items inside collector's editions. I know not everyone likes to crack open their collector's editions and actually use the items that are provided inside, but I think the tote bag and the tea towel especially are very useful. So if you're on the fence about whether you want to pick this up or not, I do recommend it. I think all the items are very nice quality, and if you're a big fan of Coffee Talk, I think it's definitely a must-have. Now, regarding the international giveaway, I'll provide details of how you can enter for a chance to win this exact copy of the collector's edition. So there are 3 things that you need to do in order to enter the giveaway successfully. First, you need to be publicly subscribed to this YouTube channel. If you're not sure how to do that, I'll provide a link down below for Google's page of the step-by-step on how to make your subscriptions publicly seen. That way I know that you are subscribed to me and I can enter you in the drawing for this giveaway. The second thing that you need to do is to, somewhere down in the comments below, indicate that you want to enter this giveaway. And the third thing you need to do is, in that same comments, you need to tell me either what your favorite visual novel is of all time and why. Or if you've never played a visual novel, you could also tell me what about Coffee Talk interests you and what you're looking forward to in Coffee Talk here. So this giveaway will only be open for 2 weeks. I'll have the exact deadline down in the details in the description box below. And once everything closes, I will announce the winner on my community tab, and the person who wins will have exactly 24 hours to contact me on social media in order to claim their prize. If they fail to do so, I will redraw a new winner and go from there. So that's everything for this unboxing and giveaway details. I'm really hoping to do some more giveaways in the future. As a collecting channel, I really do want to give back and give away physical copies whenever possible. So hopefully there'll be more of these in the future, depending on how this goes. I always enjoy working with Serenity Forge because I think they are a publisher who really does care about their physical releases. So I hope you guys are looking forward to these new retail editions of Coffee Talk and Coffee Talk episode 2. And until my next video, bye guys.